while trying to duck the smoke in LA in All-Star Weekend at the Intuit Dome, while Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard were allegedly colluding, tampering, fake tree planting, all the stuff. Adam Silver on Media Day was questioned about tanking. How do we stop it? How do we suppress it? What is the league going to do to try to stop the ominous notion and process of tanking? He said something I think is very important. He said a thing that I and others have been speaking about for a very long time about abolishing the draft. We are at that point in 2026 where the commissioner of the NBA is openly talking about abolishing the draft. I am here for it. Let's get into all the reasons why they should do it, why they still probably won't do it, and how this system could actually flourish. Let's talk about it. So how would this new system work? Okay. Let's go from the top to bottom. So worst team will still have an advantage over the best teams. I'm not moving off of that, right? That should still be a thing. But it shouldn't be randomized, especially with the lottery stuff. But even if we're doing it like the NFL, where it's worst record, first pick, let's put a more incentive on it. The worst team has the most money allocated to spend, right? That's kind of built in terms of rookie wage scale and all that stuff. But let's just make that a flat number to whoever wants to be the first pick or the first player signed by the worst team. Let's make it incentivized. You really want to go play for the worst team, you're going to get the bread to do it, right? But now you're saddled with everything else. You have to have that accountability, right? You know, the best ability is availability. Well, the second best ability is accountability when it comes to sports anyway. So you have now the best player signing to the worst team because they're offering him or her the most money. That to me makes sense because you're going to have to overpay me to make me come to you. If you are that nice, you're going to have to overpay me to get me. And that's where it should be. Instead of, oh, well, you are the best player by far. Your reward for being the best player is going to the worst team. And it's not just the worst team in terms of it could be because of talent. It could be because of coaching. It could be because of the front office. It could be because of the owner. You have no control or no say in that. Let's move past that. That's archaic. That was for an older time. This is 2026, moving forward. Players should have the ability to choose where they want to go, just like me and you have the ability to choose where we want to work. The draft was a thing for the military. Even the military has moved off of the draft. If the military can move off of the draft, why can't the NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, and etc.? Why are professional sports leagues still instituting a randomizing system like a draft by bringing in the best players and always having them potentially going to the worst run teams? This system would allow for a bust to be less of a thing. It's commonplace now for a bust to be a thing, and we really don't know what we see. We see so many examples of a player that gets drafted, highly touted, etc., and then only for them to realize if they flame out there, but then they go somewhere else, and they resurrect their career, and they're like, oh, this player actually was good. This would help eradicate that because a lot of times it's usually bad system, bad coaching, wrong fit, whatever the case may be. If both player and organization are sitting down at the table and actually negotiating where the player has just as much leverage as the organization, then there's truly free agency in the choice of, I really like this squad, but I'm not the right spot. That's not the right spot for me. As opposed to, I just want to be the number one pick. Let's remove that from being a thing. Or I want to be the first person in my position to go. Let's remove that. Let's focus in on what it really should be. Am I the best fit for this team? Am I the best fit for this coach? Am I the best fit for this organization? Is this the right city for me? Is this where I want to live? And that's becoming the biggest pushback to this type of talk is always, well, the teams with the most attractable weather, most attractable, city or whatever the case may be, are always going to get the best players. That's not true because there's only 15 roster spots on every team. The whole draft class can't go to LA and Miami and New York. It's not going to happen. And Houston or Atlanta. It's not going to happen. Somebody's going to have to go to Milwaukee. This would also allow all parties involved, I think, to come out looking better in the end. Players are held more accountable because if you're Jonathan Kuminga, you got drafted by the Warriors. You didn't ask to go to the Bay and sit behind Andrew Wiggins, sit behind Kevin Durant, sit behind all these players, Jimmy Butler. You didn't ask to go to Golden State Warriors. They just drafted you. If you're Jonathan Kuminga, you could have went and cooked up anywhere else. Do you imagine now, knowing what he knows now, if you could have rewound the draft when Kuminga came out and make it now a free agent system, would he even consider the Golden State Warriors? If he got a ring out of it, would he still actually consider being a Golden State Warrior? Probably not if you give him true serum. So how do we eliminate situations like that where players are put in positions where I'm stuck behind all these guys, but I'm winning, but I'm really not getting a chance to cook. I can't get minutes. I'm in and out of the rotation. How can we eradicate that? Okay, Kuminga, you want to go be, a Brooklyn Net where they could offer you more money than the Warriors and you'll get a chance to cook, but you're not going to win. But you're going to get all the shine, all the shots, all the whatever. Is that what you want? Or do you want to be yo-yoed in and out of the lineup, in and out of the rotation, and then being used as a scapegoat for the habitual nut hitter Draymond Green and Steve Kerr, but you get a ring out of it? Which one would you have? And you're making less money. Which one would you choose if you're Kuminga? So doing this, abolishing the draft, helps in situations like that. And that to me is where it's like, it's a no-brainer to me that the draft should be abolished. It should be free agent. It should be able to choose your job, choose your workplace, just like you and I can. And I think that's where, because sports, we're so ingrained with this draft system, because it's happened, long before many of us were born, but it was so archaic. It's so archaic. It's so old as hell. This should not be a thing anymore. Let the players choose where they want to go. Let the organizations become more accountable and be better at choosing players and signing players. Instead of let's just tank for the best player. Why should the best prospect have to go to the worst team? That makes no sense. You're at the top of your profession. I did all that work. Elementary, junior high, high school, college, preparatory. I did all of that to go to the worst organization that is a poverty franchise. Why would I want to go through that? Why should I be subjected to that? All the sacrificing, all the work, all the training, only to be shipped off to the worst possible place? Why? Why is that a thing? Why is that acceptable? It'll be on the NBPA to follow up on this, because this helps them too, because we can get rid of some of these rookie contracts that are so locked in, to, like a Jonathan Kuminga, where you're restricted, your rights are held, and we can get rid of all of that, because no team should be able to just hold someone's rights, even if they don't like them. The Warriors have not liked Jonathan Kuminga for upwards of 3 seasons, yet they have held that man hostage and have leveraged his rights against him, and other teams from trying to poach him and get him for the last 2 to 3 years. That should not be a thing. You don't like him, then get rid of him. But with this new system, with this new way of doing a draft, you can eradicate a lot of that. Now, there's going to be a lot of owners that are going to push back. There's going to be a lot of front office people that push back. There's going to be a lot of coaches, a lot of media members, a lot of retired players that are flooding the media landscape that are going to be against this. There's going to be old school fans that are going to be against this. But I think Adam Silver, for one of the few times in his regime, is really frontward facing in terms of, we need to get ahead of this. Taking is a thing, and it's going to be a thing as long as the system always rewards the worst with the best. Because in no other scenario is that a thing. So why should it be in a multi-billion-dollar industry like the NBA?